Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Michelle Plans Travel. I'm a travel advisor and I live in Ontario, Canada. Today is the day that I'm going to take you on my family vacation with me to Prince Edward Island. We got back just a few days ago and we had a great time. And I just wanted to kind of give you perspective into what we did. I could do a much longer video about Prince Edward Island, but I'm not going to do that for a couple of reasons. One is, although I have visited the province quite a few times, I haven't been everywhere and I don't know everything about it because although it's small, there's a lot to see and do. And also it would make for just an extremely long video if I went over everything. So I'm just really going to focus on what we did, how we did it, and what I thought was fun. We chose to drive to PEI. It is a drive that I've done pretty much every time that I've visited PEI, at least in recent memory. It does take about 14 hours from the base that we use. So my parents live in Kingston and we started off from there. So it is about 14 hours in the car, just that's driving time. And then you have to add on additional time for stops and things like that. We did rent some vehicles from Enterprise, and I will give a shout out to the downtown Kingston location, which is not downtown. It is on the corner of Bath Road and Armstrong. They gave us excellent customer service, and the vehicles that we ended up getting were fantastic. We had rented 6-seater SUVs because they were less expensive to rent than a minivan. And while there was maybe a little bit less room, I would say, for the person in the very back, they were considerably less expensive. And we ended up with a very fancy Mercedes. I can't remember what kind of Mercedes, but it was a fancy one. It had massaging things in the 2 front seats, so we were set. And then my sister and her family had a Dodge Durango with a Hemi V8. I'm not a car person, but I think that's what they had, and they were very happy as well. So kudos to Enterprise. Good job. We decided this time that instead of stopping in Edmundston, which is in New Brunswick, just over the border, we decided to stop in a little place called Desjardins. I think that's how you say it in French. And it is just before the border. So it's still in Quebec. And the main reason we decided to stop there was because the hotel was actually less expensive. And it ended up being a great choice. The front desk staff were friendly. The restaurant staff were very friendly, even though they were completely overwhelmed with how busy it was. The food was really good. I wouldn't say it's a fancy hotel, but it was comfortable and it was clean. So the hotel was Hotel 1212 or Hotel 1212. I'm not sure how they actually pronounce it, but that's the name. Very conveniently located too, because it's right across the street from a Metro grocery store. So we were able to stock up on snacks and drinks for the remainder of our trip. And as well, it's very close to a Timmy's, which is essential for road trips in Canada. And of course, there was a gas station. The highway access was excellent as well. We continued on our way, and so the way that we drove, I should have probably referenced this before, is we went from Kingston, past Cornwall, into Quebec, dropped down south of Montreal, went along the bottom of the river there, and then into New Brunswick, drove across the middle part of New Brunswick, just sort of passing by Fredericton, Moncton, all the way to Shediac, where we did stop to see the giant lobster, of course. And then we took the Confederation Bridge over to PEI. So we did not take the ferry, we did not fly, although 2 of our family members did fly in from BC on the Sunday morning. So they actually went BC, stopped in Montreal, Montreal to Charlottetown. So I will note now in the video that in my personal opinion, it is best to have a car when you are on Prince Edward Island. I don't find it's a place that you can really get around with and explore without having a vehicle of your own. So whether you decide to drive your own vehicle there, rent larger vehicles so you can carpool like we did, or if you fly in and then rent a car when you're there, I personally think that's the best way to go. Other people might have other opinions, but just knowing some of the beautiful coastal routes that you can take, I just think it's worthwhile. Now, There are a couple of ways that you could stay on PEI. You could do what we did, which is basically plant yourself in a good location and do spoke-like day trips out. The island itself is not terribly huge. You can get to the middle to one side in sort of 2 hours, I think either way, if you're in the middle, 2 to 3 hours, and then back again. So it would be a longer day trip, but it's doable. The other thing that you could do if you really wanted to explore the entire island is you could base yourself on, a couple of hours, stop, explore that area, stay one night there or 2 nights there, and then continue all the way around the island. The way that the tourism board there has the island split up, it's kind of like a middle section. And then they kind of have, if you're looking at it on a map, a section sort of on the left and a section on the right. So you could call them west and east. Depends on how you like to do your geography. And they sort of have different routes. They have different driving routes that you can take and different highlights that you can see. We stuck to the middle section for this particular trip. And so we just decided to sort of do things that were within about an hour's drive of us. Just keep it simple. We ended up renting an Airbnb this time because there were so many of us. We needed a place that was a little bit more secluded. We are a loud family, and we wanted everybody to be comfortable. So we wanted enough bathrooms. We wanted the younger people in the family, so the younger adults, to have their own space too, where they could go and kind of be a bit louder if they wanted to, and then we're quite loud altogether, like I mentioned. So we had a lovely Airbnb in the Malpeque area, which is north of Kensington. So if you're looking at a map, we were sort of north of Kensington and close to the Malpeque Harbor. We could walk to a beach from our Airbnb, which was lovely. It was literally 2 minutes down the road. And it was a nice beach to explore. We found some shells and some rocks, but it was quite seaweedy. So it wasn't a beach that you would go in and out swimming on. However, that area does have a lot of other beaches that you can go swimming at. And the place that we were at was literally a 5-minute drive from Cabot Beach, which is a park there. So we went there one night and just sort of explored it. Monday, we decided that we were going to all go to Charlottetown, and it was a great day, great weather. It was quite hot, and it was something that all of us wanted to do. So Charlottetown was about an hour's drive from our place in Malpeque. And one thing to note is that in Prince Edward Island, there are no large highways. There's no divided highways. The largest highways that you will find are 1 lane each direction. And I believe that the highest speed on the island is 90 kilometers an hour. So just take that into consideration when you're driving places. You're not going to be speeding anywhere at 120 kilometers an hour. It is a little bit slower. Most of it is a really lovely drive, so it's not like you're gonna not enjoy the experience anyway. So we went to Charlottetown and we parked right down by the harbor because it's just an easy place to meet up, and that's where the restaurant was that we were going to later that day. And some of us did e-scooter rentals, which they really enjoyed. Other people found people that were fishing off the pier and they had a little go. Other people, we just kind of walked around and did some shopping. So some highlights that we noticed in the Charlottetown area is that they do have a food hall. It's really neat. They do have a liquor store there, and they have all these different little restaurants or little takeaways that you can purchase food from. So they had PEI potatoes and their toppings there. They had a place that made sushi tacos, which was really interesting. They had a bar in there. They had a place that was selling some really excellent decadent shortbread, which we did take advantage of. They had a stall that was selling hot sauce. So there's all different local vendors in there selling different things. It was really interesting to see, and somewhere I would recommend going to visit. We noticed on the way out too, it was really nice. They had a patio area and they did have some live music playing. Then down in the harbor area, there's restaurants, there's shops, there's the Cow's ice cream. So Charlottetown was the first day that I had Cow's ice cream for the trip because I was trying to get in as many ice creams as I could for the week that we were there. If you don't know about Cow's ice cream, it is excellent. And if you're heading to Prince Edward Island, I highly recommend not just getting their ice cream, but having a look around their souvenirs. They've got some really funny shirts that you can buy, sweaters. They've got butter. They've got other dairy products. They've got chocolate covered potato chips that we may have purchased. In Charlottetown, not only can you rent the e-scooters, but you can also rent jet skis. You can also go on boat tours. So there are some that will take you out to sort of see some wildlife. There is an amphibious tour, which my sister and her fiance did take. So it takes you around Charlottetown on land and points out different landmarks, as well as it will take you into the water. So you can see the city coastline by water, which is really cool. They also have what I think is a floating tiki bar with sand down in the harbor, which looked pretty fun. And they have some floating cottages that you can rent. So all in all, it's a fun place to visit. Lots of things to do. Lots of shopping you can do. There's some really cool churches in the area. It's just a lovely city that you can visit and walk around. There is also a performing arts center in downtown Charlottetown. So I think what was going on there when we passed by is a musical called Anne and Gilbert. But they do have other performances and they would have concerts there and things to do. So yeah, it's a great day well spent. We caught up at the end of the day and had dinner at Peaks Key Restaurant, which was excellent. And service was good. We made reservations the night before and they took really good care of us. So we enjoyed it. Tuesday was not a super day weather-wise. So we took the opportunity to go to North Rustico and just check out their harbor and their shops. A few of us wanted to go fishing and had read that that was an easy area to go fishing from. And as well, they did have a fish market where we could pick fresh seafood from, and that is what we did. We opted to purchase our own lobster. I was going to purchase live ones and we were going to cook them all together. I'm glad that I didn't. Those of us that wanted lobsters, we got pre-cooked lobsters, and it was hard enough to kind of coordinate heating all of those up, as well as the corn we had going and the other stuff we had going. It's a little bit of mayhem on Tuesday night when we got home, but all in all, it was excellent. People got to try lobster for the first time. People got to have lobster that really enjoy lobster. North Rustico is an interesting little place. It's got some really cool little gift shops. It's got a little beach at the end where some people did go fishing. It has a harbor on the other end, which we personally didn't visit, but it's really was quite nice. So I definitely recommend a visit to North Rustico. Wednesday was a great day weather-wise. We decided to take advantage of that day and go and visit Cavendish. Now, for those of you that maybe haven't been to Prince Edward Island, you may, though, have heard of Cavendish. It is probably the most famous area of Prince Edward Island, apart from maybe Charlottetown, but I think it might be even more famous than that. And that is because of its connection to Anne of Green Gables. Lucy Maud Montgomery, who is the author of Anne of Green Gables, she was born not far from Cavendish, and then she actually ended up spending a lot of her time growing up in the Cavendish region. So the Anne of Green Gables heritage site is in Cavendish, which we went to visit. But Cavendish is quite touristy. So there is sort of they call it the boardwalk there, where there's lots of restaurants and shops and touristy things you can purchase. They have an amusement park there. They have some mini golf there that people can do. Lots of things to do, as well as they have Cavendish Beach, which is widely regarded as one of the best beaches on the island. It is lovely. It's very well maintained. We did sort of break up in the morning and did our own things around Cavendish. And then we got together and did Cavendish Beach in the afternoon. It was really fun to have everybody in the water. My dad loves splashing in the waves with everybody, and he just had a hoot. So we're really glad that we did that day. That was the day we were all wearing our family t-shirts as well. So it was kind of fun to walk around in our family shirts. And we ended up going to a pub in Kensington that night for dinner. So after spending Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday together, we decided on Thursday, as it was the second last day of our trip, to just split up a little bit so that people could do really what they wanted to do. We had some more outdoorsy activity-based people in our family, and then we have some more beachy focused people in our family, and we have some sort of just more meandering people in our family. So we decided it would be a great day to kind of split up and do a couple of things and then reconvene for dinner later. For anybody that is activity-based or activity-focused, there is a ton for you to do on PEI. First of all, PEI has a lot of golf courses. So we actually met a couple that was there specifically on a golfing trip. And they were really cool. We met them the day we were wearing our family shirts in Cavendish, and they had shirts on where they had pictures of each other's faces on their shirts. It was pretty funny. But they were really cool. They were there on, like I said, a golfing trip. So there are lots of golf courses on Prince Edward Island that you can take advantage of. There are also some disc golf courses. There is supposed to be a really, really good one there. And our family did try to get on that course, but you have to arrange it ahead of time. And I think it just didn't work out with the timing. Besides all the activities that you can do in Charlottetown, there are also things like there's some high ropes courses that you can do. There are fishing charters, deep sea fishing charters that you can take from both Malpeque Harbor and other areas on the other end of the island. So there's lots for you to kind of explore and do. There are also quite a few kilometers of boardwalks up along the North Shore. And so if you are a walker, it would be a wonderful thing for you to kind of put on your walking shoes, take your binoculars, take your camera, and just do some of those walks so that you can see the different kind of wildlife. The North Shore of Prince Edward Island has a lot of really awesome sand dunes. They formed naturally, they're protective features, and a couple of years ago when the hurricane went through, a lot of them got eroded, and it's really great to see them coming back now, to be naturally coming back into formation, and the growth is regrowing on them. So it was just really interesting to see that. So on the Thursday, we did have a section of us go and do the high ropes course. A couple of people went back into Charlottetown to do that amphibious tour. My parents actually went down to a little village called Victoria by the Sea, or a little town. They had a lovely time. That was where we were going to go as well with them, except we decided to go back to the beach. We ended up going to Brackley Beach that day, which is just a little farther down the coast from Cavendish. So it's very similar to Cavendish. Honestly, the amenities are pretty much the same. So there's showers, there's change rooms, there's toilets, there's outdoor showers. There's boardwalks for you to get onto the beach, over the dunes safely. There's steps, there's ramps, and there's even the wheelchair mats for you to go onto the sand at both Cavendish and Brackley. We didn't go as far as Stanhope Beach, which is another one up there, but I think they probably have similar things because all of those beaches are run by Parks Canada. So they are just very, very well maintained. And this summer we lucked out because as part of Canada Strong, they were free for us to enter. Again, I recommend Cavendish, I recommend Cabot, I recommend Brackley, I recommend all the beaches. Do all the beaches that you can possibly do. So we had a great few hours on Brackley Beach. We just kind of chilled out. We drove there, we took our time, we took a scenic route, which everybody sort of really liked to see. We love looking at ocean vistas. And honestly, there was a couple of drives along the North Shore that I wish that we had had time to take. And I think that my fiance and I are planning on going back at some point in the next few years and really focusing on doing more of a driving vacation where we do focus on seeing those different vistas. Our last day on the island was actually really rainy. It was really rainy that day. So we're pleased that we just took that day to have a down day. And we did some washing, we did some game playing, we did some puzzle making, and we just really enjoyed our last day together as the family group of 13 people. And then we got up early on the Saturday and we decided that on the way home, we were going to come all the way back through in one fell swoop. And surprisingly, I thought it was going to take a lot more time because we made quite a few stops along the way and there was construction, like a lot of construction. And we accidentally got diverted through Montreal, which nobody really wants to do. However, we're fortunate that it was on a Saturday rather than a work day. So even though we were stuck in traffic, it could have been a lot worse. Anyway, we left the cottage in PEI about 7 a.m., just after 7 a.m., and we got back to Kingston about 10 p.m., so not too shabby for the way home. I would say the highlights of this trip for me, in all honesty, it was just spending time with my family. It's the first time that all of us have gone on vacation together, and it was really awesome to see the interactions between my kids, my nephews and their wives, and my parents, so the grandparents. It was lovely to be able to hang out with my sister and her fiance as well. And it was just, that was really what brought me the most joy. Next to that, I would say I really enjoyed Charlottetown. It was great to be able to kind of do that touristy thing, see the different attractions. I think there's more to see there than I actually got to see. So if you are in Charlottetown for the day, please do give it your full attention. I liked going to see the Green Gables Heritage Site. It is different than the last time that I saw it. My parents took me when I was quite little, and we went through the house. And again, this time we lucked out because it was free. It's part of Parks Canada. They've done a whole sort of interpretive, I don't even know if I would call it interpretive center, but it's a whole center, and it goes through Lucy Maud Montgomery's life. And it just talks about her background and where her writing stems from, and all the things that she went through. And then you get to sort of go into a barn area and then out to the house with the gardens and stuff. There's also walks around the Green Gables Heritage Site. We didn't do them, but there are different loops that you can do. I have to admit, I've actually never read Anne of Green Gables. I know. I have watched the series, obviously the one with Megan Follows because of my age, but I have read a lot of other Lucy Maud Montgomery books. So the Emily series, the Pat of Silverbush series, and a few others. And I love her writing. So you never know, I might go back and read Anne of Green Gables after all this time anyway. If you are thinking of going to the east coast of Canada and PEI, Prince Edward Island, is on your list, I would encourage you 100% to go. It is an absolutely beautiful province. It is small enough that you can see a lot of it if you devote your time and planning to it. And it is so friendly. The people that we interacted with in every store, in every restaurant, on the beaches, they were lovely. We certainly didn't feel out of place at all. Whether you drive there or you fly there, you take a different route, whether you do a stay and wheel spoke vacation or a driving vacation, I just highly recommend it as the place to go. I would also say for planning your trip to Prince Edward Island to make sure you take a variety of different clothing. We had some lovely days where it was quite hot, and then we also had some rainy days where we definitely had to layer. If you've been to Prince Edward Island and you have favorite things about the province that you would like to share, or if you have suggestions for people to do when they're on Prince Edward Island, things to see, things to do, places to visit, experiences, I would love you to put those comments in the comment section under this video. I am here to spread information so that people can travel more easily, so that people can plan their travel more easily. And any information that we can pass on to other people just makes everything even better. So thank you so much for watching this video, for me telling you all about my family's travels. As always, please do like and subscribe to my channel and follow along as we go on this journey together.